A local advocate is being recognized for her work helping survivors of domestic violence. Barnstable is another step closer to having its own dog park, and we hear from Police Chief Paul McDonald on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Tuesday, March 1st, 2016. I'm Sarah Mannel. Independence House Executive Director Lisetta Hurge Putnam will be recognized for her work with victims of domestic violence next month. Hurge Putnam will be presented the Gerard D. Downing Leadership Award for showing commitment to advancing the rights of crime victims.
Work is still so meaningful, and there's still so much to do because we deal with domestic violence and also sexual violence, which sexual violence is one of the issues that is not talked about as much, but certainly those are two issues that we deal with. And what we hope that we've provided for the community is a safe place for people who are impacted by these issues.
Hurge Putnam will be presented that award during a ceremony at the State House April 13th. Barnstable dogs may soon have a place of their own to play. Last week, Town Council voted to accept a Stanton Foundation grant that will pay for the dog park's design. DPW Director Dan Santos says the park will be located near Hathaway's Pond off of Finney's Lane.
It's a pretty exciting project. I know a lot of people have been working for quite a number of years on trying to develop plans and to get this is more of a formal dog park. You know, a lot of places where people walk dogs around the Cape are kind of open space where they allow dogs. This is a place that will be, you know, physically constrained. There'll be fencing, and this is a place where dogs can go to socialize and, you know, romp around and do their dog thing. What we've envisioned here is basically three separate areas for the different size of dogs. So the small dogs aren't interacting with the huge dogs, and this is apparently how dog parks are done these days.
Absolutely.
We have experts, you know, working with this. But anyway, there's a committee for Barnstable Dog Parks, which had formed a couple of years ago, and they've been fundraising for a few years, and they have raised tens of thousands of dollars towards getting this dog park up and built and maintained. And so working with them, identified the Stanton Foundation, which is a foundation based up in Cambridge or Boston, that one of the missions of this foundation is to do work for canine. And one part of that is, you know, they do a lot of research, but they also fund dog parks construction, and only in Massachusetts.
Santos expects the design phase will be completed this spring and summer. Officials plan to request funding from the Stanton Foundation for building costs. Chief of Police Paul McDonald is working with the Town Council Subcommittee on Homelessness to find out more about that work. Barnstable This Morning host Sarah Colvin talks with Police Chief Paul McDonald.
So just a few minutes ago, we were talking at our newscast about the Homelessness Subcommittee, and I understand that the subcommittee has given you and the police department a charge. Tell me a little bit about that and the work that you have done on that particular matter so far.
Well, first I'd like to applaud Jen Cullen for bringing this subcommittee together, and President Rapquasetti, and I appreciate Mark Ells being part of it. Last Thursday was the second meeting, and one of the things they charged us to do, because this particular subcommittee, they're looking for to deal with the homeless problem as it pertains to the people living in the camps. And of course, during the summertime, during the height of the camps, you know, there's probably somewhere between 75 to 90 individuals living outside. So what they asked us to do last Thursday is to try to get a best guesstimate of how many people that are currently out there living in the camps as of this week. So yesterday, a team of officers went out there. I was included in that team, and we identified all of the camps. I'm happy to say that just about all of the camps at this time are uninhabited. We did identify 7 individuals who are out still living in the camps. There are no active camps along Old Colony or the Nantucket Street Street. All the camps off Old Yarmouth Road, they've been completely dismantled. There's no one staying out there at all. There are a couple of camps down in Calmus Beach, and there was one camp up along by the airport and one down in Independence Park. The individuals staying at those camps, they have been identified. This is good because there's so few people there. It's not that they're still homeless, but what they're doing because of the weather, they've taken shelter, they're staying with friends, they're couch surfing. As soon as the weather breaks, a lot of these individuals move back out into camp. So I think it's great that the council is taking this up and come up with some really active and proactive solutions to deal with this. And the biggest thing is getting the outreaches out there to assist these individuals and get them the services they need.
Absolutely, and that really, Chief, is I think the most important thing is to be able to find some help and some solutions for these folks. And as you said, definitely good news to see that the numbers in the camps are down and that most of them have been dismantled. Of course, we have we have had some unseasonably warm weather recently, but it was a pretty bitter cold and snowy. Are we expecting to see maybe more of an uptick in those numbers as the weather gets warmer, or how will you continue to
absolutely.
monitor
Come around April 1st, you'll see some of these camps start to get built up again. That's why we want to stay on top of it. I know Mr. Ellis talked yesterday about HAC. They have an outreach worker. We're going to coordinate their services, and then hopefully we can coordinate the services that each individual is going to get, because the individuals who are out in the camps, they by far are the most difficult ones to deal with. They're there because of addiction problem or mental health or because of a combination of both. But this is a huge step in the right direction, and we're getting ahead of it before the summertime, before the good weather hits. So hopefully if DPW works with us, we keep these camps at bay.
Great. Much appreciated for that update. Chief, tell me a little bit about an arrest that took place over the past week.
We had a significant arrest last Wednesday, Andrea Rodriguez. We know for a fact that she's been making a number of trips from Fall River up and back to Hyannis, meeting individuals at a certain hotel. On the area of Route 132, we had information last Wednesday night that she would come back again with a load of crack cocaine. We set up on the hotel, and the detectives made a great arrest. They ended up locking her up. She was in possession of over 30 grams of crack cocaine, which is a good hit, and she's been held right now for $5,000 cash bail.
Wow, and crack cocaine, Chief, is something that we really haven't heard much about in recent
Correct.
days. I think that just thinking that it's coming into our community is scary enough, but good that this got stopped. Is that true? Am I correct in thinking that we really don't hear that much about crack cocaine in recent days?
Crack cocaine, that was a big in the late 80s, early 90s. It's kind of diminished up, but it's coming back a little bit. I think this is the second arrest we made in the last 2 months dealing with crack cocaine. So hopefully it's not making a comeback, because again, it is extremely addictive.
Absolutely. Chief, I know we had the marathon in Hyannis over the weekend. Seems like things went off without a hitch. Beautiful weather for the runners on Sunday.
It was a great event. A little windy, but it was sunny, a lot better than it was last year. Of course, last year they had to cancel the road race. I don't think they had the numbers that they were expecting. I think the actual registered numbers about 4,200 people registered, and there's probably several hundred banded runners. They were hoping to get around 7,000. But I was down through Craigville Beach, and it was just a wave of people running at you. So there was a good crowd, and they're happy with it, but we'll see.
Absolutely. Chief, any other significant events that happened over the past week?
Nope, that was about it.
Great. One final question. I know that the polls are open today.
Yes.
Is there anything that you and the department do, especially when we're anticipating a large turnout on today's Super Tuesday?
We are expecting a large turnout. There are 13 precincts. There are 10 different locations. There is a police officer assigned to each and every one of them. They were there at 7 o'clock, and the biggest thing they have is just make sure everybody stays back to the 150-foot setback. You can't be holding your signs or rooting for anybody close to 150 feet from the polling place. So so far, so good.
And you can hear from the chief every Tuesday morning during our 1 hour-long news program, Barnstable This Morning. That airs weekdays at 8 a.m. On tomorrow's show, we will chat with Jessica Silver. She's the president and CEO of the Hyannis Area Chamber of Commerce. We'll talk with Finance Director Mark Milne. Plus, we'll have all the news and information you need. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Mannel.